I'm going to invite you all to take your machzorim for a moment and close them and put them down. And it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome forward two people who are congregants of Temple Emanu-El, but I'm also blessed to call them my friend, and that is Andrew and Audrey Kent. The Kents are leaders in our community in every composite, every facet, every angle one could imagine. And today, they'd like to share some thoughts with you about why this temple is so important to them and how each of you can do your part to help continue our vital role in our community.
Thank you. Shana Tova and good evening.
Shana Tova.
My name is Audrey Kent, and this is my husband, Andrew Kent. We joined the Temple Emanu-El community 6 years ago when we relocated our family from New York City to Tenafly. We have a 12-year-old son, Eli, who we are very excited to celebrate his bar mitzvah this upcoming spring. We have a 10-year-old daughter, Maya, and a 6-year-old son, Noah, who both attend religious school here as well. I grew up in Great Neck, Long Island, and yes, one of Andrew's greatest accomplishments is getting a girl from Long Island to move to New Jersey. My family attended, thank you. My family attended Great Neck Synagogue, and I always loved going to high holiday services where I saw all of our neighbors and family friends each year. I graduated from Cornell and then Columbia Teachers College, earning a degree in speech and language pathology. I currently operate a private practice as well as a multidisciplinary therapy group with my partner and fellow congregant, Casey Halper. Casey and I also founded the Jewish Federation Wellness Network, and I currently serve as the HSA co-president at Mom Elementary in Tenafly. Andrew was raised in Wyckoff, New Jersey, and attended Temple Beth Rishon. He graduated from Babson College, earned an MBA from NYU, and after a 12-year career as a bond trader, he rejoined his family's essential retail business, Glass Gardens ShopRites. Andrew currently serves on the boards of the New Jersey Food Council, the Federation, JFCS, the JCC, and JNF. Now that you know a little more about us, we would like to share with you an opportunity to celebrate our past and build our future at Temple Emanu-El. When Andrew and I contemplated leaving New York City and relocating permanently to raise our growing family, we focused on the community attributes most important to us: a vibrant Jewish community with shared values, strong schools, Jewish institutions, proximity to New York City, and Long Island. We joined Temple Emanu-El before we even moved into our home because it was immediately clear to us, as it is reinforced here tonight, that the temple is at the center of it all. An inspiration and motivation for many of the institutions we have now become a part of. It is here where we established and developed many of our relationships with our closest friends and neighbors, those whom we share Friday night dinner with, nearly all of whom we met 6 years ago downstairs in the high holiday family services. Our strong temple congregation, led by Rabbi Kirshner and his team, has helped shape, develop, and support leaders in our community. It is clear to us that these organizations are stronger when Emanu-El is thriving. Temple Emanu-El continues to be at the center of it all, which is why we see the importance of investing in our temple community for the long term.
There's nothing like a once-in-a-100-year pandemic, a historic immunization campaign, and a once-in-a-100-year flood to remind us all of the call to action, the essential need to invest and reinvest in our community, Lidor Vidor. Lessons we learned from operating essential retail during the pandemic included strong leadership, being nimble through constant change, and most of all, staying open to serve the community and execute our mission uninterrupted. Similarly, just like our family business serves its customers, Temple Emanu-El serves our congregation and greater community uninterrupted to the highest standards, no matter the circumstances. During the pandemic, they didn't miss one day of Minyan. They supported anyone who had an illness, a death in the family, and needed to be taken care of. They offered a daily Kaddish, bar bat mitzvah lessons, and ceremonies occurred Religious schools continued. Temple committees reached out to those in need. Ceremonies occurred. Regardless of what felt like impossible obstacles, the temple didn't stop being a synagogue for one moment. This temple was one of the only synagogues to pivot and to make holiday services happen. Last year, with quality virtual programs that have become the aspirational models for temples everywhere. Furthermore, any congregant who was financially impacted by the pandemic, they retained their membership. No employees were furloughed or laid off. The temple continues to invest in enriching content, like the Scholars in Residence program, virtual learning, yes, lecturers, and my favorite, the Exodus 2.0 Challenge. Additionally, we have returned to in-person events. Investing in security during this troublesome rise in anti-Semitism is a significant concern. Again, even with constant change, the temple never stopped being here for our community. Look around. These tents, this audiovisual experience, whether you in person or at home, every consideration of detail that we are the beneficiaries of here today is happening because of the commitment of this congregation and its leadership. The temple made in-person services happen again this year in a safe fashion without compromising the quality of the streaming services for those who are not here in person. All of this does not happen by itself. This all takes energy, time, resources to meet the diverse needs of our amazing community. Attending Rosh Hashanah services last week and listening to Rabbi Kirshner and Rabbi Feinberg's sermons, there were many concepts and themes that resonated with me due to the parallels of lessons learned between essential retail and temple operations during the pandemic. Those lessons of emotional hygiene, post-traumatic growth, resiliency, never giving up, and an obligation to improve the world were particularly impactful. When I think about how this temple has been there for all of us during this pandemic to lead us through these troubled times, I am compelled to invest in our temple for the long term. As you consider your annual giving, remember, the temple community is at the center of it all, the beacon of inspiration and motivation for the leadership of many of our community's greatest organizations, as well as where our families celebrate our traditions together. Investing in our temple for the long term is essential and imperative to make our community the best it can be forevermore. Audrey and I wish you and your family a Shana Tova, and thank you for your time and help in this effort.
I think it's safe to say that the future at our synagogue is strong and bright with leaders like Andrew and Audrey. And I just want to go on to say that I know that in your other love and your life besides your family that you've had your hands full over the last week and a half since the flood. And still, you made this a priority. And that only speaks volumes about your character, your values, and the way in which you build a home for your children to witness. So on behalf of all of us, we wish you strength in your rebuilding of ShopRite and Inglewood for the entire community, and especially the kosher-keeping Jewish community. And we wish you a year of health, peace, happiness, and growth. All of you on your tickets have an opportunity to make an impact at the temple. I'd like to ask you all to just take a moment and think about ways you can make a difference. Our ushers will be going up and down the aisles in just a moment and collecting your pledge cards. For those of you who are joining us virtually, you can obviously do this after the holiday or send it in. And we want to say thank you to the Kents and to all of you for all that you do for our temple to make us strong and grow.